A very good morning to us once again, and you're tuning in Health Check, and I'm your host, Praise Owuor. And here at Health Check, we try our very best to bring to you health perspective, health matters that affect us on our day-to-day basis. And today I am tuned in. I am here in studio with a guest, and her name is
Beatrice Mbudia.
Yeah, she's a counseling psychologist, and she's going to help us dissect on the topic temperaments and personalities. And so we are encouraged by those of us who've tuned in, and we appreciate you so much. You can join the conversation with us through our WhatsApp number, that is 0704 474747, 0704 474747. And you can also reach us on our Facebook and other handles, that is at Praise Radio Kenya. All right. And so to begin our conversation, the topic is temperament and personalities. So Madam Beatrice,
Yes.
maybe you can define for us this. Somebody seated at home and they're wondering, what are temperaments? What are personalities? Are they the same thing, or is there a distinction between those two aspects?
Yeah. To begin with, they are usually, most of the time, may be used almost the same together, but they are very different. Temperaments, they are inherited, maybe in an easy way that one can understand. They are those inborn, you are born with, or they are genetically inborn. Whereas the personality is acquired. One can acquire the personality that they become with time due to the environment they are exposed to, due to the socialization, the experiences. So those are the main difference. So for personality, they are acquired. The temperaments are inborn. Like when you see a child, they have some characteristic that they may stay with in life. Those who are very social, those who are very kept, they are very reserved. You can know them even when they are still very small. Yeah.
So temperaments inakuja ukizaliwa.
So that's what they say.
It's genetic.
Yeah, genetic.
But whereas personalities, it's acquired along the way.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much for helping us understand those two aspects. And maybe you can help us also. What are some of the temperaments that we have, and also what are some of the personalities that people can acquire also along the way?
Yeah, some of the temperaments we have, the main ones are the four. There's sanguine, of course, many people know them. Sanguine, there is choleric, the pragmatic, and there is a melancholic. And maybe even to expound on what we are defining as temperaments, we realize personalities, they are personal identity, and they can be, as we say, they can be influenced by factors like education, culture, and they can also be affected by heredity and role models and experiences. The personality is what we are or why we are, and the temperament is how we do things. It's determined by reacting to situation, and it can be composed by mental, physical, or emotional traits. So maybe to come to your question, there are the four main temperaments. The sanguines. Do I define? Yeah.
You can just list.
Yes. Sanguine, there is a choleric, and there are different categories. The sanguine and choleric, they go together. They're extroverts.
Oh, they're extroverts.
Yes, and the pragmatic and melancholic, they are the introvert. They internal. They get their energy from within themselves. The melancholic and the pragmatic, but the sanguine and the choleric, they get their energy from outside. They're extroverts.
Oh, what do you mean by the term extrovert?
Extrovert, it's like the way I've just explained. Like they can get energy when they are with people. They get energized by teamwork. The things outside. But the melancholic and the pragmatic, they get energized by being within.
Being by themselves.
Yes, you see them. They love maybe watching movies all alone, or reading books, just being within. Being reserved.
All right.
Doing things like which do not involve so much of people. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And what about the personalities?
the personality, there are many personality now, but they can be extremes. Maybe that's what maybe we'll discuss today, because they also affect our mental health. There are extreme or disorders in personality, which can affect even the way we interact with people and the situation around us. And they are long-term patterns of behavior or inner experience that differs significantly from what is expected. You know, somebody is expected to do this, but they are doing in the opposite. And there are different types of personality disorders, which can be influenced by the environment or the experiences people have gone through, or by attitude within themselves. So they begin mostly in late adolescent or early adulthood, and can be as a result of distress in functioning and problems in life. And they can affect the way one think about themselves and others, the way one respond emotionally, and the way of relating with others, and controlling one's behavior.
All right.
So those are disorders. They are like outside what is expected or the norm. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. So, dear viewer, dear listener, we've heard that temperaments and personalities, people tend to put them in the same category, but in a way there is a distinction, as you've said, because for temperament it's genetic, it's inherited, but for personalities it's kind of acquired along the way, and it's shaped by the environment that you have, by the people that you know, you talk with, and then the temperaments are divided also. There are those who are extroverts, and then kuna wale they are introverts. All right, sawa. So thank you so much for explaining that for us, and even as we move on, we're going to now have an in-depth conversation, and now this morning we're going to focus on extroverts, that is the sanguines and the choleric. How do they come about? Why do they behave the way they behave? And also in terms of personalities, so that we can be able to know. And so, as I had asked the question earlier, do you know your personality? Do you know your temperaments? Because it is important for you to know your personality and your temperaments, because it is helpful in your relationship. You can better respond to the needs of other people and to your loved ones, and build stronger relationship when you know your temperament and your personality. And so we're going to have a very short break, and when we write back, we shall have an in-depth conversation on that matter.
This is Praise Radio.
Get ready for the revolution. Come on.
Welcome back. Karibuni sana. This is Health Check, and I'm your host, Praise Owuor. And we're having a very good conversation here in the studio about temperaments and personalities. And our guest is trying to help us understand these personalities. And I can see on the social media handle, Teacher Jen, she's saying that she's listening and tuned in hapo kabisa. Aniko Chola anasema ako ndani kabisa, and Aniko also says that temperaments and personalities, everyone should know theirs. It's amazing. Teacher Jen again anasema it's a great topic, and I hope everyone will be tuning, and it helps us to understand one another. We also get to see Elsie. She's saying that we have a great music down here, and so continually reach us through our social media handles. That is 0704474747. Maina Sami, I can see unasema show iko moto sana, and we tunasema asante sana. And so back to our topic, temperaments and personalities. We've been able to understand that temperaments are genetically acquired, while personalities are acquired along the way, and we have been able to know what are some of the temperaments, what are some of the personalities. And so we want to get into an in-depth conversation to be able to understand how these people work. How can we be able to know that you are a choleric? How can you be able to know that you are a sanguine? How can you be able to know that you have some of these personality disorders? Because you may not know, but I believe that as she is going to help us, we may be able to understand. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe you can start with the temperaments, that is the extroverts.
Yes.
How can we know? You said about a choleric. There may be somebody listening and is wondering, who is a choleric?
Yeah. So we'll start with sanguine. We said sanguine and cholerics are the extroverts. They are the ones who gain energy and strength from interacting with people. You know, they love partying, you know, going out, you know, they are social. So in sanguine, they are, in quotes, called the talkers.
The
These are
talkers.
the people who, they are always talking. You feel like, hey, now I need to shut up your
They
mouth.
talk non-stop.
They talk, they can talk and talk until you feel, now you have to put a full stop. So that is one of the characteristics. So if you are there and wondering, where am I? So that is one of the issue, the major characteristic of sanguine. They are very talkative. They are active. They get energy, especially within the crowds and outside. They are very active. They are people oriented. They want to be where people are. I realized maybe in the time when we were going through the corona period, when people are told to stay home, I think these people really suffered. Maybe for those who are single and they are young and they had to be all alone by themselves in a house, I think that was torture.
With no people.
With no
Talk.
people. I think they were really suffering. They are people oriented, outgoing, they are social, they are playful, impulsive, you know. If they are not careful, they can end up being people who just buy anytime, shopping, you know, they are always going out to shop, impulsive, or they react without just in like that, without really much thinking. When they want to say something, they don't really think about it. They just react all of a sudden.
Can we call them, they're spontaneous?
Yes,
All
yes,
right.
that's a word I'm looking for. They just act all of a sudden. They are optimistic. They see life in an optimistic manner, which is a positive thing. They have a good sense of humor. When you are around them, you feel at home. They make you feel warm, welcome, at home, you know. They are very entertaining and easily amused. But one of the challenge or weakness they have is they easily get distracted. They get bored, when there's nothing to excite them. Watu ni wale unakuta wanadoze ukianza.
Wanachoka haraka.
Wanachoka haraka. There's nothing to excite them. So it's important to know these characteristics so that you can know yourself. As you know where you belong, you get a clear understanding, a self-awareness to know even how to relate with others. They are also very expressive. They express how they feel, ni wale watu wataki kujua vile utafikiria, lakini mimi nitaisema vile nasikia, very expressive and passionate. They easily build relationship easily. They can make friends easily. They don't have struggle
because they're out there.
Yes, out there looking for new friends, new adventure. They are adventurous. They trust people easily, so they can be taken advantage of. Because of that trust, they can easily be manipulated in relationship. They are carefree, life to them is partying, tomorrow itakuja, very cheerful and lively. Yes, they lose, as I say, they lose attention quickly. They can also be very disorganized, because they are always on the move. So these characteristics are important because when one gets married, imagine you get married to a sanguine and you are a melancholic. It can be, if you don't understand that person, you'll feel as if you are living in another world. You are opposite.
Yeah, sure.
And they are just created in their own unique way. So that's why it's very important to know where you belong, so that you can be able to understand others and accommodate others. They are very competitive. They want to be out there and to be doing something. They also fear rejection.
All right.
In relationship, they can really try to hold on because they don't want to feel that they are not liked. They desire to be with others, and so fear of rejection is a major challenge. So the other group we are supposed to talk is the cholerics. these in quotes are known as doers.
Doers.
Yes, doers, in quotes.
Uh,
So these are the ones who have the challenge of being workaholic,
okay.
because they are always working. They are always on a project. They have to finish these projects. And some of the characteristics are they are irritable. They can be very hostile and irritable because they want things to go how
done.
they have planned, and they want to get to accomplish their goals. They are very analytical. So when you are like you have a boss who is a choleric, you have to explain your project. If you have a proposal, you have to be very detailed, so that because they are very analytical, they have to look at things at all angles, anakuuliza maswali. Now, they want details. They are very analytical. They are also very goal-oriented. They want to accomplish this goal, and so they give their best to accomplish a goal, whatever the cost. So even as like sanguine, they are very also competitive.
Yeah.
So imagine you are married to you are a choleric and you have a
married
sanguine.
Any competition kwa nyumba.
Competition itakuwa kali,
Yeah.
Kila mtu ako na msimamo wake na anataka ku achieve something. So they are good at making decisions, the cholerics. So they make good decisions because of the analytical nature. So they have to look at the pros and cons, and looking at the depths of everything. They are very determined. They dislike small talks. Okay, maboya small talks, mutakosana. Taki hiyo. So they also enjoy deep and meaningful conversations.
Right.
Those zile za nguvu, you have something, a good idea.
You want to.
They are the people to go for, because they want those ideas so that they can implement them. They also have a weakness. They can be very argumentative.
All right.
Because they are trying to push their agenda. They want to make you, this is the way. So they can have very strong stands. It's my way or no way.
My way or the highway.
Or the highway. Yeah, this is it. Because they have analyzed the thing. They have looked at it in all sides. So when they are trying to argue with somebody, they feel, this should be done like this. So they are also very, as I said, they are competitive. Yeah. So those are some of the characteristics.
All right.
Yes.
So I think, dear viewer, you've been able to at least get what we are talking about here. The sanguines and the choleric. These are extroverts.
Yes.
And we've learned that the sanguines are very spontaneous, passionate, expressive. They make friends easily. They trust people easily. They are very disorganized, and they also fear rejection. And also we've been able to learn that the cholerics, on the other hand, are doers, are irritable. They get mad very easily because they want things to be done in their way. Analytical, goal-oriented, good decision makers, and very argumentative. And so with those explanations and definitions, you can be able to know and place yourself where you need to place yourself. Sawa. And on the other hand, what about those? What about the personality aspect now?
The personality aspect now, I said they are disorders because they are those social behaviors which are accepted in the normal way. But now when the personality disorders, they go to the extreme. The extremes, and we say that they are affected by how people think about themselves and others, how they respond emotionally, but now in a negative way.
In a negative way.
Yes, which now can lead to mental issues, because now they become like they are not able to integrate well with the environment, with people, and relate well with people. And so maybe to mention some of the types of personality which are disorders. Now they are outside what is norm. Some of them there are 10 main groups of personality disorders. One of them is antisocial personality. These are people who are always disregarding other people's feeling. They disregard the social norms. They violate rights of others. they also do not conform to social norms.
Mm-hmm.
They have tendency of lying and deceiving people.
Mm-hmm.
The antisocial ndio unakuta ndio wako kwa shida, wanakuwa punished, and if it's not corrected early, they can lead to drug abuse because they feel like they are rejected. They may not understand why they are feeling like that. And maybe as a parent, if you're not careful to check how the behavior of the child, they can end up being rebellious and end up in drug addicts and other behaviors which can be destructive. The other type is in avoidance. And avoidance, we say they are the extremely shy. They are those who are maybe inborn, have a shyness or naive. But now these ones are extreme. They are extremely shy. They feel they are inadequate, and they are sensitive to criticism. It's important to accept other people's feedback because that's how you learn. But now these people, they don't accept any criticism. They feel they are very, very sensitive. So those are the avoidance. So they try to avoid people even in social interaction.
All right. Sawa. So we have also tested and be able to see some of the personality disorder of which we are continuing to know. And so we have a question here.
Yes.
Somebody is asking, we were able to see some of the some of the weaknesses of sanguines.
Yes.
Yeah, they're disorganized, they fear rejection, they trust people very easily.
Yes.
What about some of the weaknesses that cholerics have?
I said they are very argumentative. And then they also can be drawn to be a workaholic. Because they are very goal-oriented and they want to finish their target. They are project-minded. They can, if maybe you are married to somebody who is a choleric, they can tend to be very aligned to working, always working at home,
working everywhere.
Yes. Now it can also affect the relationship.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Sawa.
And also competitive is also can be a disadvantage and advantage.
Especially if you are a sanguine married to a choleric.
Yes.
It's a war zone in the house.
Yes.
Yeah, great conversation we are having here. You can reach us through 0704 474747 or our social media platform, that is Praise Radio at Facebook and Instagram, and just ask questions. What are some of the things that you want to know? You can also text and tell us where you tuned in, or also a shout out, and we shall be able to do that. And so we've been able to know some of these temperaments, that is the choleric and the sanguine, and right now we shall know where we ought to place ourselves, and also some of the personality disorder that majority of us face and majority of us have, and we really do not know. And so we're going to take a short musical break, and when we come back, we're going to plunge right in on the personalities and be able to know what are some of them, how do they come about, and how can we be able to address them.
This is Praise Radio.
Get ready for the revolution. Come on. What you say?
It is exactly 8 minutes past 8, and you're listening to Praise Radio, the show being Health Check, and I'm your host, Praise Owuor. And we want to thank you for joining us today, even as we have a candid conversation about temperaments and personalities. And so far, we've been able to cover extroverts, that is cholerics and sanguines, and be able to also understand some of the personalities that we have as human beings. And before that, I want to appreciate Derek Mugambi. He is tuning in from Shomoroni. Asante sana. And then there's a question here from Dennis Namunwa. He is asking, where would optimist and pessimist fall under the two subjects or topics of today?
Yeah, thank you very much, Dennis, for the question. And maybe before I forget, also one of the weakness of the cholerics, they can be very domineering or controlling in relationship because of their nature, and they can also be very inflexible because it's their way or no other way. So that is one of other also disadvantage or weakness they can work on. to improve. So to your question about optimist and optimistic and pessimist, we realize, as I said, in as sanguine or also in extrovert, they are very optimistic. So because they see things in a bigger way, in a bigger picture, so they tend to be very optimistic. And also for introverts, which are the pragmatic and the melancholic, they tend to be very pessimistic because they are inward. Most of the time they are always focused on the inward, especially maybe as we discuss about the melancholic, they can be easily prone to guilt conscious. So they can be very pessimistic also as a weakness, and also pragmatic. So that is also an area to improve as we learn to know where we fall in to improve in these areas. Because we have an ability to improve. It doesn't mean that you have to stay like that. It's not a death sentence. We can still improve.
All right. And we were having a great conversation about the different personality disorders. Maybe you can just pick up from where you left. You had handled two. Maybe you can just remind us even as we go to the third
we
one.
talked about the avoidance. These are the disorders. They are the extremes, which may be a challenge. When you realize you have this characteristic, important to seek help so that it may not get into a place of mental challenge and being able to have challenges even in life. So we talked about antisocial personality disorder and also avoidance disorder. And then now the third one is a borderline. Borderline is a pattern of instability. These people are very unstable in personal relationship. When they try to get into relationship, they break. Their relationship break very easily because they are always unstable. They have extensive emotions. They express their emotion in an extensive way. Also poor image, self-image, and they also have the characteristic of being impassivity. That is, they tend to act suddenly without thinking. They are not careful in their thoughts and conscious. So with somebody like this, they may not be able to maintain relationship. They struggle in relationship, the borderline. And also they fear avoid being abandoned, and they may tend to have suicidal thoughts. Thinking that I don't deserve to live. So if you have these characteristics, very important to seek help. So that it may not end up in a dangerous place. The other personality disorder is dependent. Personality disorder. These people they always seek to be taken care of. And these people in relationship, you tend to see that they feel as if they are helpless without anyone to help. So they are willing to die to be in relationship because they feel it's like their life will come to an end if maybe they are not with this person. They can even commit suicide when maybe they break a relationship because of that feeling of helplessness.
They also tend to be very clingy.
Yes, cringy. Yes, they feel now if you leave me, I'm going to die. You know. So this also is a disorder. They are also very submissive in a way. So they also have difficulty in making decisions. So uncomfortable, feeling uncomfortable even when they are within people. And also when they feel helpless when they are alone. They fear divorce. And breakage of relationship. The other personality disorder is called histrionic. Yes. This has a pattern of excessive emotions and attention seeking. These are people who are always, they can even
attention seeker.
They're always seeking attention. Where they are, they want, I'm here. I'm here, I need their attention. So they can wear in a very provocative way. Mpaka unashangaa, yani huyu mtu alifikiria nini. So they are always seeking attention. They feel very uncomfortable when they are not the center of attention. Because that is where they gain their strength. They feel that they gain their strength. They also use physical appearance to draw attention or exaggerated emotion. They can just cry for you know, you are wondering, why are you crying? But they are just seeking attention, you know.
Attention,
Yeah. So they are histrionic. Then there is the other one called Narcissistic Personality Disorder. Now, this one, they are always seeking admiration. And they also lack empathy. They don't care about anyone. As long as you admire them and they feel, they almost have characteristic with the histrionic, that admiration and seeking attention. And they don't care about the other, the feeling of others, and they have a sense of entitlement and take advantage of others. So this is a disorder which we want to have to check on. There is also the disorder of obsessive compassion, and especially in this time of corona, I think it can be very exaggerated, because these are the people who are always trying to do things repeatedly. Like if it they worry, sijui kama nilifunga mlango. Unajua kuna ile unaweza sahau, lakini they are so obsessed with ni kama sikufunga mlango. Anarudi anaangalia amefunga.
You are in church and then maybe ulisahau kuzima pasi kwa nyumba.
And then you remember, I think but now these people also, they preoccupation with ordinariness, like they are perfectionists. You know, things have to be done in a perfect way.
Oh, they are perfectionists. Excessive compulsive disorder.
Yes, they have that nini, and they also control, and they are overly focused on details or schedules, and may be inflexible in the morality and values. So, like if you have like a boss or a teacher or a parent who has this disorder, it can be very difficult to relate with them, because if ikiwa ni vijiko zimepangwa hivi, hakute kijiko moja sijui imekaa vibaya, hiyo ni makelele, mnakosana.
Alright.
Yeah, they have that perfectionist.
So they want things to be done the way
they want. The way they are supposed to be. Then there is a paranoid personality disorder. This is where now they are suspicious. These are people who are always suspicious. They don't trust people. They are seeing them as mean. They see people as mean. They assume people will harm them and deceive them, and they don't confine with others. They can even interacting with people, it becomes difficult because they cannot trust. So imagine if you become in a relationship with such people, it can be very difficult.
Very toxic.
And very toxic, because they cannot trust you. They are always being suspicious that you will do something wrong. Even if you tell them, you have no problem. Then there is a schizoid. Schizoid is they are detached from social relationship, expressing little emotion, and they don't seek close relationship. They choose to be alone, and they don't seem to care about praise or criticism about others. They're just there. They are like detached from social relationship. Like they struggle even to make relationships. So it's very important to know these disorders, so that you can be able to help somebody there. Maybe you may see some signs, you can help them to seek help. There is also the other one called paranoid. Paranoid we talked about. There is a schizotypal personality disorder. These are very uncomfortable to close relationship. They almost they have some characteristic with schizoid. So they are uncomfortable in close relationship, have distorted thinking, and they have eccentric behaviors. Yani they have strange behaviors. Even in their speech, anaweza kuambia vitu ambazo unaona ni strange. It's not, it doesn't make sense, or it's strange or odd. So they also may have excessive social anxiety. They are not comfortable with being in social. So they tend to be very anxious. Those are some of the personality disorders. All right, thank you so much. So dear listener, those are some of the personality disorders that we have. And so if you exhibit such, or you know somebody who exhibits such, it is good for them to to seek help, so that they can be helped. Sawa. So I want to acknowledge Teacher Jen Mahina. She's saying a very great topic, and she's enjoying the show. We also have Shiku Waini. She's also saying she's also enjoying the show. I can see Shadrach Ochieng anasema
he's tuned in from Chuda. And then there's also a question from Shiku. Anasema, can you kindly elaborate more on the issue of bipolar? Because many a times it is misunderstood, the issue of the bipolar disorder. Yeah.
Bipolar disorder mostly comes in the area of depression, where now these people, they kind of fall in sanguine. Most of the people who maybe suffer, I'm not saying it's always, but most of the people, they may have tendency to be sanguine. So they have some characteristic. Sometimes you find them very excited. Like in the morning, they come very, very excited, always jovial, greeting everyone. You know, the mood swing. So one time they are very high in excitement. All of a sudden, for no reason, they just go down. For no reason. They can't tell you why they are feeling like that, but they are just low. They can even start crying for no reason. So there is that mood swing. Yeah. So there is no like, it affects their moods. So it's like a form of depression, but it affects the mood. And you know, most of the people have not understood these people, because maybe then they can easily, if you don't know about it, you can easily be taken advantage of, because especially like when they are excited, they can tend to expose themselves to like bad company. They can have sex anyhow without care. You know, that excitement so much. And all of a sudden they just go down. They can go into depression now, because now they are so down. Mood, it's just so down.
All right.
So that's why it's also important when you get a relative or a friend or a person who is close to you, it's important when you know this, you can help them to seek help, because sometimes they may say, I'm just that way. But you know, it's a disorder also.
Yeah, so they need to seek professional help.
Yes, it can be treated. And with time, they can still be able to improve and manage their emotions without having to swing.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you know anyone who is exhibiting such traits, it is good for them to, you know, go and seek professional help so that they can be assisted.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I can see Hildegard Masoso. Anasema ako tuned in from Nairobi and he is enjoying the show. Keep up. Asante sana. You can reach us on our WhatsApp number, that is 0704 474747. 0704 474747. You want a shout out, you want a song, you want us to play, you have a question, you can reach out to us through that number, and we shall be able to assist you. Na Mungu atawabariki sana. And so even we have now come to understand some of the temperaments and also some of the personality and also the personality disorder that we have. So we're going to have a short break, and when we come back, we're going to also plunge right in to be able to understand some of the temperaments. We started with the extroverts, and we shall now want to plunge right in to the introvert, that is the melancholics and the phlegmatics. Yeah, so don't go anywhere.
This is Praise Radio.
Get ready for the revolution. Come on. What you say?
Welcome back. You're listening to Praise Radio, and the show is Health Check here, and I'm your host, Praise Owuor, and we're having a great conversation here at studio about temperaments and personalities, and we've been able to learn about some of the temperaments, the extroverts, that is the choleric and the sanguine, and also some of the personality disorders that we have. Let me just to read some of the things people are saying. Shikwaini anasema, apparently we all have some level of personality disorder, some mild and others extreme. As such, we have no room for being judgmental. There's always a why behind the way people believe the way they do. Yeah, so I think a great conversation here. And so we want now to plunge into the opposite side, that is the introverts, the melancholic and the phlegmatic. Continually text us through the number 0704 474747. You can ask a question, a shout out, a comment. You can just type there where you're tuned in from so that we can also be encouraged here at studio. Karibu sana, Madam B.
Asante sana. It's amazing. One of the difference between the temperament and personality is that temperament can also be seen in animals.
Wow.
That was amazing to me.
Ah.
And but personality is mainly for people. So I was wondering. I just remembered we have chickens. We keep chickens where I stay. Though it's a flat, we decided to come with some chicken when we went home during Corona time when we were staying at home. So there is a jogo. I have never seen this. It was amazing. I think maybe I have to research more. So that jogo, you know, when I go to feed it, I usually maybe open for it and I take it out. Now, sometimes I just see it. You know, the way the jogos try to befriend other, going sideways like and that's what it does to me. But it's amazing. It doesn't do to my husband or any man. But it does to me and to the girls.
So even animals can portray such.
Yeah, by the way, it's amazing because even the other chickens, they are different in their mannerism. There is one that is very confident, you know. It's always reading the way, you know, ndio inakata misho, you know, inatafuta tujia tu mikato. Even the chicks, they are very different. So it's amazing. It's something to think of, eh?
Wow.
Yeah. So even animals, they exhibit some temperaments, but personality is just for persons.
All right.
So it's another something to think of, eh?
Sa.
Yeah. So we are doing the introverts. We said that the introvert, they get inside. Their strength is within. That's why they are in. They are inward. They are more of. They are reserved, solitude people, you know, they love doing things which do not involve people. Now, ndio nakuta ndio ma computer programmer, they can stay all alone the whole day and they will not have any issue without going out. Eh?
All right.
They you know, even knowing your personality helps you to know the career which will fit for you.
Not every career.
Yeah. You give somebody who is pragmatic or melancholic a career of sales, utakuwa umemchokesha.
Or a DJ.
Or a DJ. Itakuwa ni challenge, you know. So it is good to know your nini. So these melancholic, as we are saying, they in quotes, they are called the thinkers. They think so much, eh? And also they follow rules. Yeah, when you tell them do this and this and this, they are those people who like rules and traditions. These are supposed to be done this way. They also have a tendency of being perfectionists. You know, this is what is supposed to be done. If you go, so they don't have room of creativity. Unlike the cholerics. Cholerics are very creative in their mind. You give somebody who is choleric in a job, that you think outside the box. But the melancholic, what you tell them is this, and they do to the point. They don't. But they can still. It doesn't mean that because we have these characteristics we can't change. We can have rooms to improve in our weaknesses. These people also they have the tendency of staying alone. They don't mind being all alone. They can take time to stay alone. They are logical. They look at things in a logical way, factual. They want facts. Give me facts. Why should I do this? They like doing things with facts. And they are also like cholerics. They are also analytical. And the one of the weakness they tend to is being anxious.
Oh, they're very anxious.
Yeah, they can be very anxious. Maybe if they are told to do something outside what they are not used to, because they, you know, as we said, they are rule followers. So something outside what it's norm may make them more anxious, and also they may tend to be guilty prone. Maybe if they have not done things the right way, there is that tendency of being guilty prone, worrying about how things might have been done if they didn't do it the right way. Because you see, they have the character of following rules. So if something is not followed to the letter, they have that tendency of feeling that they didn't do the right way, and thinking, we should have done this. So maybe they did something and something didn't work out for them. It can be a challenge.
Or they can come late in a meeting and they feel wame disappoint watu, not like the typical Kenyan mwenye akifika anauliza kwani hamjaanza.
Yeah, the Sanguines. So these people also tend to be very time conscious, and they feel very angry when you don't keep time also. Yeah, so they expect so much from others. So they can be easily disappointed by other people's attitude. Yeah, so those are some of the things the melancholic have issue in. They make decisions. They are good in making decisions, though they may have some struggle. It's not like choleric. Choleric, they enjoy making decisions and they can make it with ease. Yeah. But now one of the challenge of the melancholic is that expecting so much from people, because there is that tradition. If you get at this person, there are traditions. As a wife, you are supposed to do this, and this is how they know also. So it can affect if things are not done the way they expect. It can be very disappointing.
There's so much expectation.
Yes, expecting of others.
All right.
Yeah. Also, they love a small group. Close friends, they are not because they are not extroverts. They enjoy small group, close friends. They are not adventurous like the introverts. They also run by watching. So as a student or a teacher or as a wife or as a parent, it's important to know also the children, what are their temperaments, because you know how even to be able to help them to run. Yeah, and also even the career choice. Yes, those are some of the characteristic of melancholic. Yes, but they are very reserved also.
All right. Yeah. What about the phlegmatic?
The phlegmatic, The phlegmatic have almost the same characteristic, because they love also being solitude. They are reserved. They also are social, but they are quiet. They are quiet and naive, not like the what are they called, the sanguines, but they can be social. They match well with sanguines, because now sanguines are out, and then I think there is that balance. Right. They bring the balance,
right.
But they can be social, very unini. They can have good relationship. Because they are self-aware, they are inwardly thinking, so it's easy for them to be self-aware of others and of themselves. They are also reserved, as I said. They have some characteristic of the melancholic. They also run by watching. So they don't get, like the sanguines and the choleric, they are hands-on.
Oh, yeah.
They want, like, if you are in class or maybe you are in a group, they want practicals. Show us how to do this thing. Don't you're but these they learn, they watch. How are you doing? So because they want to learn, then they can do the practicals. So also as a teacher or somebody, it's important to learn how people relate, how their temperaments, so that you can be able to know how to be able to help them. So also the phlegmatic, they get drained when engaging in activities which involve people. Like you umpe mtu ati DJ.
Hawezi DJ.
Itauchokesha atarara sijui saa ngapi. Hiyo inamkura energy, but for the extrovert that brings energy. Yeah, so that's how they are, because they are not others oriented. They gain energy from themselves. They also enjoy being independent or doing work which does not have so much dependency on others. They want to be independent, like do things like social work. Yeah, so they tend to have those a
work that does not involve
so
a lot
many
of people.
Yeah. So in issues of teamwork and other activities that needs a lot of people, sometimes it can also be kind of draining. Yeah.
Right. And so I think there is in a way a thin line between the melancholic and phlegmatics. Both are quiet and all that. But I think for the phlegs, they're more social than the melancholic. The melancholic are time conscious. They get disappointed.
Expect much
very easily, unlike the phlegs, they get drained a lot with the various activities that they do. All right. And so I think, dear listener, we've been able to see and tackle those two aspects, the extroverts and the introverts. For the extroverts, we've tackled cholerics and sanguines, and for the introverts, we've tackled melancholic and phlegmatic. And so maybe somebody can ask a question that can you possess all these 4 temperaments, or is it that you have one which is predominant and then others ziko pale chini?
You can have like two major, like maybe when you do like a test, you can realize you are more of sanguine, but you have some characteristic of maybe the prag or the melancholic. So it's possible to have both. And also as you grow, as you maybe exposure to an environment and different experiences, you can also work on and your weakness and become have some characteristic of this and that. So there is that possibility. It doesn't mean that you have to stay like that, you know. And I thank God because as Christians, we can be able, you remember Moses and Jeremiah, you know, they were complaining, I'm not even able to do this.
Speak and
and you know, the Bible says that God takes that which is foolish to the world, you know, and to shame the wisdom of the world. I think it's in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, 20 something. So you realize you don't have to imagine Moses was arguing with God. I'm not able even to talk, you know, I'm a stammerer, you know, this and that. But you know, it's God who had purpose even from beginning. So that's why it's important to be very open and flexible, because God can call a pragmatic to be a pastor or a politician. You know, those are positions which are, as in the wisdom of men, they are mostly taken by cholerics and the sanguine, because they are the outgoers.
Yeah, like the third president of Kenya, Mwai Kibaki.
Yes. So it doesn't mean that you cannot become what God had purposed.
All right. Now, what if when there are others who say, Shadrach Ocheng is asking the question, ni kama yeye he has a mixture of akona some sort of sanguine, akona some sort of ni kama everywhere, every place ana pick some attributes. So that's why I'd ask a question, is it that maybe you have one that it's out there,
yes
alafu zingine maybe they ziko na hizo nini zote?
Yes. Those tests, they pick the strongest. The
strongest.
Strong, So that is the one who domineering. Now that's when you fit, because everyone has sometimes, you know, sometimes you may feel I want to be alone. But also with experience, they can change.
Right. And maybe one last question. Can a life experience do something with your temperament?
Yeah, it can. It can expose. Maybe like as a Christian, I believe as we grow in the Lord, we become more aware of who we are in Christ, and so we are changed. Like me, I remember when I was growing up, I was a very shy girl. You know, I didn't think I can stand and teach. If anyone told me that I could be a teacher or I could stand, and it was I couldn't think of it. So that life experience, that connection, and knowing who we are in God and having that boldness, you become different. You know, you are changed. You know, this for me, I see it as this is how the world see it. But how does the Bible see you? As according to the right of the word of God. So that's why I said we have to be very open and flexible, so that we don't have to like close ourselves in a box. This is how I am, because that is the danger. I am just like this. Accept me or not take me. But now we have, as a Christian, we have a higher calling, we can be different.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Asante.
Maybe even to cut you short, sorry. There is this Pastor Prince, Prince Joseph Prince. Yeah, when you hear of his story, he used to say that he was a stammerer and he could not even stand. Maybe you can go, people who are listening can go and listen to the testimony. But now he's preaching to so many. Yeah, so things can change as we are being transformed.
All right.
Yeah.
Asante sana. So ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. We've been able to dissect the introverts, that is the melancholics and the phlegmatics, and so you can be able to see where you can place yourself.
This is Praise Radio.
Get ready for the revolution. Come on. What you say?
Welcome back. This is your host, Praise Owuor, and the show is Health Check. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Here at studio, we're having a very good time handling the topic temperaments and personalities. And so we've been able to cover the temperaments, that is the sanguine, melancholic, phlegmatics, choleric, and also some of the personality disorders that we may have. And so briefly, we want to be able to know how can one identify one's personalities, because on the social media we have a lot of personality tests to which in a way does not clearly tell us which personality we have. It is kind of confusing, and so Madam Mitris will try to elaborate that for us. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Yeah.
There are some tests which maybe they can which are good, you can use. Some you have to pay, some maybe there are those which are free. But one of them is a Myers Bridge, which is MY, F for elephant, R for rabbit, S, and Bridge is BRIGGS. Yeah, that is a good test. Maybe those who are interested, they can go and check. And also there is Tim Rahaye, which is TIM, Tim. Rahaye is LRHRYA, elephant, yeah. Tim Rahaye. Maybe you can test, you can go and check. They give some that's characteristic. You go and answer those questions, and you have to be very genuine. Whatever you believe you are and how you interact, so that you can get the correct characteristic of where you belong. Don't say maybe the ideal you. Say the way you know yourself.
Yeah,
so
because most of the time we write our opinions.
Yes.
What we think we tend to possess.
Yeah. We don't like the weaknesses.
Yeah, sure. They tell you rate 1 out of 10 unaandika 7 or 8 over 3 or 1.
Yeah. So just be genuine on yourself and be honest about it. It is for your good. So those are some of them, and maybe there are others which are genuine. There are even some apps which you can get into, and they can help you to get to know. You can also ask others how they see you. You know, some people know you more than you may know yourself.
Yeah, sure.
There are some characteristics. You ask somebody who they think you are, they can tell you. Yeah, so some opinion. It's also good to get feedback from others. Yeah.
All right. Asante sana. Penina Chege anasema she's tuned in Chuda and she's loving the show. Maybe one last question. Why is it important for us to know our temperaments and personalities?
Yeah, it's very important because it helps you to become self-aware of who you are, how you react, respond to a situation, and how you interact with people. So getting to know your temperament and your personality is important because it builds more self-awareness, so that when you are in people, you know, this is okay, this is maybe how I respond. So you not feel guilty that maybe you're disappointed, but you also, you can be able to improve yourself because it doesn't mean that you have to stay there. You can improve in those weaknesses and become a better person. Also, it helps even in choosing careers. So as a student, you may understanding your temperament can help you know where you fit most. And also understanding others. Maybe as a student or as a person, you may wonder, why are we always in conflict with this teacher or my parents? You know, as a parent, how do you relate with your children? Because children are different. They may give different way of responding or temperament. So as a parent, you are able to interact well with children if you understand their temperament and you understand your own temperament. You are aware of, and you are able to know how to interact well with the environment without having to go to the extreme, like we said about the disorders of personality. So also it's important so that you can understand if they are extreme, like maybe you display these personality disorders, you can seek help. Yeah, so there are many ways. Also in the workplace, it helps to know how to interact with the people, and it can make even workplace a better environment.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Pastor Elijah anasema very insightful show and he's loving the show. Asante sana. Thank you so much everyone. You've decided to tune in today. Mungu awabariki sana. Health Check will be here every Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. each and every Saturday. So if you have anything that you want us to handle, any disease, any infection, anything matters health, kindly let us know so that you can, because we are here to serve you, so that at the end of it all of us, we will be helped. I have been your host, Praise Owuor. Mungu wabariki sana, and thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you
Asante
very
sana.
much.
All right.
This is Praise Radio.
Get ready for the revolution.